Patriots, this is wild. People are saying that Jake Paul lost hundreds of millions of dollars on the fight that he was supposed to win. But that Anthony Joshua went against the tongue sign script and pounded him out. And what happened? Look at what happened. Anthony Joshua allegedly, kind of suspiciously, was involved in an accident that almost took his life. It took the life of 2 other people. So a lot of people are questioning what is going on.
Just flipped the internet upside down. Jake Paul is allegedly on the move. The internet flipped the moment the story broke because Jake Paul's name collided with Anthony Joshua's name. And suddenly, the rumor mill went into overdrive with fans, critics, and content creators treating the situation like a live crime documentary, asking what really happened behind closed doors, why the timing felt explosive, and whether fame, money, and boxing politics had finally created a terminology was what transformed this from a typical solution.
A perfect storm. What's going on?
What's up, Floyd?
I can have what I want.
What you mean with the camera? Oh, you got camera too. So who you supposed to be? I'm just working, man.
What happened? You're not tough anymore since your loss? What happened since your loss? Yo, we gonna bust him up, guys?
I told you before, put that
Yo, let's bust him up. Where you running, Jake? Where you going since your fight? Since you lost? What's up, Jake? Where you going, Jake?
Celebrity drama into something poisonous. Because when the words federal agents and celebrity mansion are used together, reason disappears and creativity takes over. As a result, Jake Paul became the focal point of a story in which his silence was more powerful than any words he could have said. Verified that the FBI was conducting a raid on Jake Paul's residence. This may have something to do with firearms, because news station helicopters captured images and video of Jake Paul's home showing, oh, they're taking his guns and stuff. Like what? That's a difficult position. Images show the FBI SWAT squad confiscating multiple firearms. The local ABC station reported that one of the weapons was a long rifle adjacent to Thebachard hot tub. No one has been arrested, and this search is a component of an ongoing investigation. Reports of an FBI search of Jake Paul's Calabasas property arrived with the impact of a movie trailer, complete with tactical equipment, sealed warrants, overhead shots, and no background. And because there was no explanation, the internet was able to piece together old headlines, previous disputes, and long-held suspicions into a narrative that felt dramatic, which made it seem real. Additionally, the FBI raided Jake Paul's home. What would this guy be interested in right now? Make connections outside of YouTube. Yesterday, images and videos of SWAT officers at Jake Paul's residence went viral on Twitter. No, they are not phony. A SWAT team and the FBI arrived at Jake Paul's. The warrant for the search. As part of an ongoing inquiry, the search started around 6 in the morning. Laura Eimer, an FBI spokesperson, claims that Jake was not home at the time. Regretfully, the judge sealed the deal for TA channels and anybody else interested in learning the truth. Look for an affidavit. Therefore, we really don't know anything about Jake Paul's motivations. The internet community did what it always does best: turn conjecture into sport as soon as officials declined to specify exactly what they were searching for, because Jake Paul is portrayed more like an episodic serial than a typical athlete. And each new development is presented as the next startling chapter, as opposed to a disjointed legal or practical incident. What do you think about AJ and the families? Yes, it's all prayers and blessings for Senna Lots and Anthony, and I've kept them in my prayers. It's such a tragic situation that we don't wish upon anyone. And I'm sending love to all of them and keeping them in our prayers. I think everyone else should do the same. And we have so much love, and things are so much bigger than boxing and living life. And we're just blessed. We must all be thankful to be here, since you never know what the future holds, because Jake Paul's career already straddles the line between athlete and entertainment product. The resurfacing claims about controlled fights, protected outcomes, and brand-first matchmaking fueled a fire that had been quietly burning among skeptical fans for years. This is where the conversation shifted from boxing news to mythology. People also don't take it well when you lose hundreds of millions of dollars. And if people were saying, look, he wins, he always wins, I might see the most hazy odds. It will take place during the 6th round. Anthony Joshua responded, no, not on my clock. I'm also going to shatter his jaw. Johnny, number 2. Utah, make it 2, turn it into 2. What are your thoughts on this? Guys, I'm not sure. Is this a conspiracy theory? Does it have any validity? I'm not sure. However, the fact that it happened so quickly after does look strange. This This is where the claimed escape story comes in, because the Anthony Joshua element made everything more intense, because Joshua is a man who was shaped by actual risk and consequences and represents the harsh realities of elite heavyweight boxing. Additionally, when his name is spoken alongside Jake Paul's, the conversation shifts from hype to physics, pedigree, and survival. That makes any unexpected result seem suspicious by default. You know, I think it's a little bit scripted because of the weight difference, Joshua's status as an active fighter, and the fact that this will be the first time we see Paul fight an active fighter. We've seen Mike Tyson, which was entertaining and adorable. So you know what I mean when I say it's entertaining, in games and stuff. But now that you're dealing with a real professional, we'll see how it turns out. As I mentioned earlier, I believe it's scripted. But others have argued that capitalism can create chaos without the need for secret scripts, because opponent selection, timing, and promotional power can shape narratives without ever writing a word on paper. Additionally, Jake Paul's supporters noted that he takes his training seriously, enters the ring, and takes on actual danger that the majority of online celebrities would never take. Everyone would have known it was rigged if Jake had won. He was unable to prevail in that battle. "Let me get to round 5. He said, "Allow me to reach my destination, as everyone will be able to profit from it." And the 4th hit in the 2nd round, Anthony was prepared. It was quite clear. "I find it disgusting that I took part in this, since I wanted to see him knocked out," which is precisely what he is aware of. The majority of people want him to be knocked out, when both sides were holding pieces of the truth, which caused the discussion to harden. Given that Jake Paul is unquestionably a skilled boxer and unquestionably a premeditated brand, and every punch, pause, and performance is seen through that prism, once the public determines that a boxer is a marketing machine. I frequently hear people saying, "Congratulations to Jake Paul for being brave to step in the ring of Anthony Joshua." Whether it's fair or not, there aren't many people who want to compete against Anthony Joshua. Use something. I would fight Anthony Joshua tomorrow if I were paid $80 million. Wouldn't I? No instruction. Nothing at all. I'm heading straight out of work. I'll get my jaw shattered for $80 million if I fly to Miami. No issue. And I'm certain that there will be in the millions. Disappointment swiftly gave way to confidence when the fight itself failed to produce the devastation that some spectators had imagined. And certainty took the shape of purported agreements, leaked plans, and scripting charges. Because accepting that reality frequently leads in embarrassing, unsatisfactory outcomes is emotionally more difficult than believing in a contrived outcome. He will receive a substantial sum of money to extinguish Jake Paul's passion. Mate, that's all. I'd like to see him chinned. Yes, I do. And sign me up if we're going to be compensated handsomely for the pleasure. That's all. That's all. You know, I'm kind of done trying to convince you. It might be better to ask them, why are you doing this? For the laughs and the money. That's exactly what it is. This ain't magic. Mate, I told him, you could get your mind off your shoulder with this guy, because it presents events in a dramatic manner. The purported escape narrative capitalizes on that emotional connection. The argument became self-sealing because any denial was called a cover-up. And internet purported leaks and prophecies were seen as gospel rather than happenstance or fanfiction. Any doubt was presented as evidence, and the story just required attention and repetition to endure. Facts were no longer necessary. This is where the purported escape narrative acquired popularity. Because a claim ceases to be true once enough individuals make it inquiry and turns into a plot issue. With Jake Paul represented as a man who prefers to avoid conflict after pressure allegedly increased. In response to fresh information about the Anthony Joshua incident. Bro, Jake Paul has some massive ass balls. No, did he? It's similar to going in there with one of the greatest. You know, did he win a gold medal? Gold medalist. Whoa, I'm saying that, you know? I have a lot of respect for Jake because, well, he took a lot and is robbing the bank. He works as a promoter. He promises to play the clip. The idea of Jake Paul leaving the country quickly gained popularity. Due to the combination of a celebrity scandal, suspicions of sports fraud, and the alluring image of a well-known person attempting to avoid consequences. Despite the fact that travel by itself proves nothing and movement is common for those in his position. For Jake Paul, the grim truth is that optics have turned into proof in the public opinion court, because speaking appears to be spinning. Staying put appears to be hiding, and leaving appears to be running. This means that once the internet renders a decision beforehand, every ordinary activity is translated as guilt. Guess what will happen when they tune in? Jake Paul was knocked out by us. Additionally, he earned a substantial amount of underscore money, which we are all only using. If you will be able to verify this if you have faith in astrology. I checked his birth chart. Earth energy makes up the majority of it. His actions are all underscore acts. It's a performance. At home, he doesn't behave that way. I promise. He is a Libra, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Capricorn Sun, and a Taurus Moon. He would never behave that way at home. Accusations of fight fixing have a more sinister undertone, because when sports betting comes up, the stakes transcend from rumors to legality, and promoters fight back fiercely. Not only to defend Jake Paul, but also to preserve the legitimacy of a system that relies on fans' faith. Competition still matters. In the end, this story succeeds because it blends factual reporting with rumor and challenges the audience to distinguish between the two, making Jake Paul a symbol of contemporary celebrity in which spectacle takes the place of patience, attention takes the place of trust, and every controversy feeds into a larger morality play about power, influence, and the cost of living under constant scrutiny. The law enforcement perspective merely serves to emphasize that, because every silence feels deliberate whenever official organizations come into contact with celebrity culture. Even though there are currently no facts to support that conclusion, every delay feels suspicious and every normal procedure is misinterpreted as proof of something significant happening behind the scenes. Ultimately, the complete story conveys as it says more about the audience than it does about Anthony Joshua or Jake Paul, due to the fact that viewers now watch more than just fights. They are seeing stories. Furthermore, every blow journey airline ticket becomes a part of an unstoppable myth once a fighter turns into a story rather than merely a rival. From a human standpoint, the Jake Paul scenario doesn't seem like a clean scandal and more akin to a mirror held up to how contemporary combat sports are perceived. Since names like Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul are now symbols more than just players, fans begin to question what feels appropriate to believe rather than what is factual when such symbols collide. It's clear why feelings are so intense when you take a step back and consider Anthony Joshua's name in all of this. Because Joshua is a symbol of legitimacy gained from suffering, defeats, victories, and actual peril. People are naturally protective of him because of this heritage, but they are also wary of anyone they think joined the sport through celebrity rather than fire. Whether they like it or not, Jake Paul has turned into a focal point for that animosity, due to his uncomfortable questions regarding advancement, access, and merit are brought up by success. Furthermore, many fans prefer to assume manipulation, scripts, or covert agreements rather than addressing those issues head-on, since doing so preserves their perception of how boxing is supposed to operate. The fact that several things might be true at once gets buried in the clutter. Jake Paul has the potential to be the boxing industry may be brutal and cynical without resorting to overt conspiracy. Anthony Joshua can be a true warrior, and the brand is strategic. However, when fury spreads more quickly online, nuance does not, and makes payment not.